Yo, Wagwan, it's Maxi Millz, and you're watching Artist of the Month with nothing but hits. Let's go, baby.
Don't make me say it two times. Don't make me say it. Oh shit, I think she's falling. She's acting kinda greedy. My phone, she's always calling. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Patt. We here with Maxi Millz.
Wagwan Wild, what you saying?
So, for those who don't know you, what do you do?
A lot of shit. Well, now I make music. I stick melodies next to each other and make them rhyme.
Nice.
With my talented friends. Before that, I made clothes. I had a fashion brand. I throw really big parties in London.
Okay.
So just kind of everything, really. But now I'm staying here in the music lane. Well, mainly because I can't throw parties because of Corona. But I like making music. For now. Yeah, for now.
But you're still on the swag, the drip. We see it.
Of course, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know how I do.
We're gonna get into all that. So to start, where would you say was like your first kind of dive in the creative field of where not even like taking it serious, but just like whether it was a clothes or like where did that start?
I'd say in where are we now, 2021.
Yeah.
In 2017 or 2017, I started a creative platform called Something to Hate On.
Okay.
With my best friend Raf and Dan. And it was all about cross-collaboration in the London creative space and throwing parties where like-minded people could come, not only enjoy themselves, but then also meet each other and like start new projects or help each other, aid each other on like general creative shit.
It's like a whole kind of community, really.
And from that, we built a record label called Show Records. And then we just kind of started going around the world, taking certain artists, different places, throwing parties, just like meeting people, just doing like the journey with them and aiding them with our resources that we actually like ended up getting because of we just
the stuff you were doing. Yeah, people were just like, yo, this is hype, like we want to be a part of it.
We helped them, and eventually I just started being in the studio, loads of other artists,
right?
And then shout out Jevon and lots of other people, but Jevon's one of the main ones. He kind of just made me start getting into this. And then Austin came to England one year and I recorded like a fuckload of music. It was the first time I locked in. I didn't know what locking in was, but I was like waking up and like,
but you did it.
I locked in, woke up, made music every single day with Ramel in the old Camden house, and then I just like refound my passion for it. But I've been singing my whole life. I was like on stage when I was a kid and shit.
I was about to say, weren't your parents into music?
Yeah,
something
my
like that
dad,
too.
My old man, my mum can sing anyway, and then my old man's he started off in musical theatre as a tap dancer, like just being like a musical guy his whole life. So yeah, I've been singing since like 3, but only writing my own songs and like releasing my own music for like a year and a half now.
Right. That was about back when we met.
Yeah. Then we made one of my first proper songs together. Like that shit was amazing.
Yeah.
That was
about to come out soon.
Yeah, on Friday, next Friday. I don't know what the date is. Damn, son. But I don't know what the day my EP comes out, but it's the Friday after this one. I think it's the 24th of March.
Let's go.
So yeah, let's go.
100.
It's been pushed back for like 3 months, so that's why I don't know the dates.
All right, but
But my last single just came out like 5 days ago. That's called Madonna, spelled MDNA because Madonna copyrighted her name. And then my single before that was Danny Ocean. That was cool, really cool. Shot the video at AMG Studios in Las Vegas.
Shout out the gang.
And then my single before that was Keys to the City, which I made with Yak and then co-wrote with this amazing girl called Antoinette. So yeah, it's all just been building to a head really to get this EP out. I'm excited to get it out for everyone.
It sounds like too, like a lot of this stuff, how you said you started with Show. So was Show like the first kind of real step towards like actually pursuing this stuff, or was there anything leading up to that?
Nah, it was just really just me and like my best friend running around London, bored of going to the same like brand parties, like sponsored by big brands and getting drunk for no reason. And then we kind of just like looked around us one day and we're like, this is a waste of time.
We could do this shit.
We're gonna go throw parties, we might as well make it for something. So we started throwing parties with all the up and coming DJs. rather than just booking the same people that everyone always book.
Right.
A lot of them young black DJs, a lot of female DJs. So we really were doing something for the culture. I know everyone says that, but it was in London.
Actually.
And then we went to New York, Tokyo, Paris with it, Copenhagen.
You're saying that also casually. So like, how did those come about? Where you guys were able to travel to these things? Like, were they paid for? You guys just as homies putting money together and
yeah, it was
figuring
mainly
shit out.
So like near the end of the time, it started getting paid for. R.I.P. Something to Hear when it doesn't exist anymore. But near the end of its time, it was all getting paid for. So like Copenhagen Fashion Week, we had had a stand there a couple of years running, and they just paid for it all. And then when we went to Tokyo, we took Jevon and threw a party at One Oak, and he was just doing sessions out there. And then the clothing brand that asked us to come and throw the party, they paid for everything, like accommodation and flights. And then New York was always off our own back. Like, we never actually were involved directly with New York Fashion Week. We just did pop-ups there. But London and New York are similar. Like, we have lots of friends in New York that live in London and vice versa. That was like bougie sofa surfing type vibes.
And I feel like too, a lot of people when I hear like the New York and London connect, because you guys are so much closer. Like for us, you know, in California, that's another 5 hours on top to get there. But you guys are like,
bro, 6 hours on the plane, quick thing.
That makes sense too, because with like the fashion shit and everything, like that's why those are such big hubs.
Exactly, and that's why we kind of dress
LA
the same.
Here. Yeah.
Big facts. What else though? Where else have we gone with show? I think that's it. That's still
pretty good, like track record though. Like that's it. Like that's a solid run.
Yeah, it was fun.
So starting from the beginning, like you said, you've just been singing around creative people and all that, just like growing up and kind of making these connections just through being you. And then you started with show, and that had its run. And while like you're really starting to kind of dive into the music and tap in with the clothing, and so what happened from there?
I kind of just got bored of always like, I don't know, I'm going through a selfish phase right now. I spent like the last 3 years of my life always helping other people get to places and doing good things with them, which is fun. I'd never change it, but it just got to the stage where like, cool, I need to focus on myself. I need to get my money up. Like, I'm working with some musicians that like I personally think I'm better than, and so like, why wouldn't I do it myself, you know? Yeah, no, I just kind of fell in love with writing songs. There was a natural conclusion to the end of Something to Hate On. Obviously, like coronavirus, we can't throw events anymore, and that was our main source of income, so that kind of hit us hard. And then all the online stuff wasn't sitting for me. Like, I hate doing Instagram live bullshit. Like, trying to throw parties online is not the same. Yeah. So I kind of just, rather than just like grieving over the fact that I couldn't go and have fun and get licked with my friends, I sat in the corner of my room and just did my 10,000 hours. Semi-taught myself how to use Logic, like record myself, like built a really lit group of people around me that also make music, that want to make music for themselves and for me and with me, and like Humble and AKA Block and Ramel and like all my people in London. It was nice. So yeah, it was kind of a natural conclusion. I don't know if I'd ever go back and do the whole throwing parties thing and like trying to make clothes and doing London Fashion Week, because I enjoy the introverted side of making music by myself. I like
and I was about to say just like the control of everything too, because that's like, even I think about that like as an artist, but like I'm just now starting to kind of push my own music, but yet I've been, you know, we've been working together making stuff for so long, and even now G's starting to put out his own music and like really kind of step in front. He's been doing this for so long. It's the same thing. It's like not even necessarily selfish, I feel like, but like you have to make sure you're good before you can make somebody else is good.
Selfish without the negative connotation of the word. But like to be completely selfless, like
self-care.
Yeah, exactly.
Self-care.
Your pockets and time have to be deep before you can start giving it to other people. And I was just
100%.
like spinning loaves of plates and giving my everything to other people, and like it gets tiring, man. It was so refreshing being able to wake up in the morning and being like, this is what Max is doing, and then midday Max is still doing this, and I'm not doing that because I'm doing this for myself. And now it's all coming to fruition, really.
And gives you more energy too, because it's not like, oh fuck, I gotta do this for this person. Like, no, wait, this is all for me. Okay, bet, let's get back on it.
Yeah, real talk. I did that 2-3 months really, and then I was doing loads of music on Instagram, which was getting like traction, like making up my little GIFs and stuff and putting them on Instagram. Like, people were fucking with that and sharing that, and then low key off the back of that, without any music out, I got a small deal with Orchard, owned by Sony, which was cool. And so marketing and distribution, my EP's coming out towards them. So it was like nice to know that I was being taken seriously.
And what's that?
Because before I was just like, I don't know, I'd never wanted to be just like this socialite kind of influencer kid that could make a song.
Yeah.
So getting that seal of approval from Sony was nice.
I'm about to say, what's that? Proof of concept.
Yeah.
Like when you have just like a reputable just entity or whatever, like, you know, we'll back him. You're like, oh, cool.
It's like
I'm just getting started.
A nice. It's like a nice cosign, really.
Yeah. So that brings us now. So now looking forward, since you know you have all this stuff that you're about to release, and you just talked about the EP and all that. What are some things that you're looking forward to? Like, what does Maxi want to do next? Like, I'm talking from the next month to the next few years. Like, just.
Well, my EP's done, as I said, and so now I have an idea of what I want my album to be like in my head. So I'm just trying to still trying to figure out the concept of the album. I reckon I've made like 3 songs already that would go on it. That's why I'm in LA though. I'm still trying to find my sound. Definitely trying to find my album sound and just like hone my shit and hone my lyrics. I've probably made like over 150 half songs in like the last 10 months. So I need to like go and turn them into full songs, or like steal lyrics from other songs that I made like 8 months ago and put them. I need to like really sit down, probably get a whiteboard and like
just
form that out. I want to finish that, and I also want to do Maxi Millz and Friends, whether it's like a live kind of show where I bring on all my friends that are musicians and creatives, and then we do like a song at the end, or whether it's a Maxi Millz and Friends like project. I want to do that. And then I also have this other project which is definitely going to be finished before my album, called Los Angeles. It's going to be like 3 to 5 songs. Been working on with AG since I've been out here.
Let's go.
That'll be cool. No one else knows about that. Hopefully it'll be out. When is this coming out?
I was about to say, do we have a time frame, a date on that?
It's coming out in March. So this might be a bit before Los Angeles comes out, in which case it's good promo.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to do that because they were the songs I made at the beginning of my time in LA this time, and I feel like they it's a whole mood. It's like every mood I was feeling, because like not leaving London for a long time and then coming back to LA by myself for the first time without everyone else from England was eye-opening for me. People move weird. It's like it's a weird place out in LA. Like everyone comes here for something, so it's very like I'm gonna step on your head to get here. So rather than getting super involved in that, I just kind of went out and observed, and been coming home, been writing songs about it. And I think that like it'll be a nice little project. We'll probably make a short little film for it as well. It's cool, like a 20-minute, 25-minute thing. It'll be fun.
I was curious just on the music tip too, like how would you say London has influenced your sound? Even though I know you said you're still developing it, but for me, from outside listener, because I mean, outside of me making music stuff, I'm just a lover of music and just a connoisseur in general. But like, I definitely hear a consistent like, oh yeah, that's Maxi. Even though the songs don't all sound the same, like you for sure like are starting to etch that.
I think, well, the accent's definitely one thing. Like even though when I sing, to me, I think I sound American because grew up on American music. Like the first song you hear is American, so like rather than sounding like English people, I was like singing along to fucking Neo and Chris Brown. So like, but I think my accent probably sets me apart a little bit. Definitely just my whole, I'm not sure. I think more me away from the music is more the English side of me. Like I definitely dress more English than I do American, and like the words I say in some of my songs are definitely way more like UK based slang than like
for sure.
than American slang. Like sometimes I play my songs to Americans like, what did you just say? Oh bro, it's whatever. I can't even
You're right, there's no point.
Other than that, like I think London influenced my music more from like an attitude point of view than a sonic point of view. Because I grew up on American music. I grew up on Motown and jazz and blues, like Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, the Four Tops, Temptations, Aretha Franklin, Minnie Riperton, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. Like I didn't grow up. The only English music I really grew up on was grime, like English rap, and that definitely hasn't influenced my music at all because I'm not a rapper. But I think just the London attitude really, like I put that in my shit. Like try to keep it real.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't lie, my shit's so American influence.
But I mean, I feel like that too. Like for me going out in London, I instantly felt like, yo, this feels like a San Francisco, but just a little different tinge to it too. And like even saying San Francisco, that's a melting pot right there. So just like London, there's a lot of different cultures.
Loads of different cultures.
That's why I felt like, okay, I kind of see where this is coming from.
100%.
So even how you're saying American music, like, well, even America is a mix of cultures itself. So
When I say American music, I mean black music.
No, yeah, 100%.
I don't mean that country shit. I mean like my biggest influences have been like big black American artists. So like when I make music, I don't make music to try and appeal to like people that listen to English music. I make music to try and appeal to people that like the type of music I like.
Right.
And the type of music I like is like MJ and Stevie Wonder, you know.
Right.
But I try and like 2021 it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Make it me.
Yeah. You always gotta give some of the old, mix it with the new, make you. So that you said London brings kind of the attitude of the music. Who are some other influences that you would say that like come to mind? I know you were saying something
from
like
London.
Just in general. This is like just, you know, where are some people that really inspired you from even as a kid till now that like you feel like you're kind of pulling from, whether indirectly or not?
The obvious one is Michael Jackson. I feel like I wouldn't even like sung a note if I hadn't listened to Michael Jackson when I was a kid. And like the more I get better and the more I listen to myself sing, sometimes I like even go back and like change the way I've sung something because I sing it too much like Michael Jackson.
And you want to still kind of
make it your own. And I want to sound like
yeah.
myself, you know. So he's definitely like, I go through MJ phases, but without a doubt, he's probably like my biggest inspiration.
Okay.
Other than that, I draw most of my inspiration not from musicians who are big, like mainly just my friends and like everyday life experiences. Like I don't really ever listen to someone and like, ooh, I want to go and make a song now. Like what makes me want to go and make a song is like listening to my friends' music and I'm like, oh damn, like low-key, I wish I wrote that. So then I'll go and make my own shit, like friendly competition. Like all of my friends are not even friendly competition, it's like friendly inspiration. Like
100%.
Like if fucking Shay makes a really good song, like I want to go downstairs and make a really good song.
Yeah.
It's not so much I hear a song on the radio, I'm like, oh yo, I want to go and make a good song. And then other than that, my inspirations definitely come from just being outside.
Yeah.
And like going to these places, going to these parties, and like sometimes I'll just go to a party and not speak to anyone and just like look at all the different people and like see that couple arguing there and like see the way that person's moving and like look at that dickhead, and then I'll get home and then I can write a whole song about it or like exaggerate a
wheels are turning while you're literally writing a screenplay. You just haven't put it on paper yet.
Exactly. So there's a song called Painted Face which is on my EP, and I was on my way to Fred Cox's house, who's a producer that I work with in London. And I saw this girl crying, bro, like crossing the road, but she was like smiling like this, but then like on the phone and crying, and like that little scenario like helped me write that song in like 20 minutes. And like things like that are what I think like musicians draw a lot of their inspiration
100%.
from. Like
you have to live to even kind of, so the whole point of music is translating or trying to somehow encapsulate moods, feelings of the human experience. Like,
like when I touched down in LA after not being here for a year, like we made 12 songs in like 6 days.
You're just, and the ammo was there.
Because I hadn't been outside in a year, bro. Like I literally like been stuck in my house kind of making the same old shit. And that just showed me that once you change location after living a little bit, like you're just never gonna have a writer's block. I think writer's block, well, everyone knows it comes from like a lack of inspiration, but I think if more people realize they needed to travel to re-get their inspiration, people wouldn't have that much trouble anymore.
Yeah, or even just like say, you know, somebody doesn't have the means to travel, just to switch up just whatever you're doing. So if you're going the same route every day, like go walk around the dog, man, switch your shoot, like
100,
there's something.
Just go to like a different, by traveling I don't even mean abroad, like sometimes when I'm in London, like I have no inspiration, I'll go to like South London for a couple of days and stay at my friend's crib, and then when I come back without even trying I can make a song. Feel
refreshed, brand new.
Yeah, it's like a change of like environmental energy, really. Is what inspires me.
So also still on the music tip, because we got to get deep into that. So what would you say, like what is your process for making a song? Like, is it you already
my
have
ideal process?
Yeah, your ideal, or even not even ideal, but like what do you notice yourself doing the most when you're creating songs? So I feel like you said you've made 100 and something, whether rough or not, like that's still a lot of ideas you put down.
At the beginning I didn't really have a process. It was just like I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by producers, so like rarely am I ever just like sent a beat or like find a beat and then use it. Like my process from the very beginning has always been like I find something that I like a sound, or we find some chords that I like, and then the producer's there or the pianist is there or the guitarist is there, and then I just need to come up with the first line. The first line's the most important to me.
Yeah.
So I have like a whole page of notes that just says lines, and so like whenever I say, if I hear like something in a conversation, for example, I was watching Wonder Woman the other day, and she was like under some rubble, and then she like threw all the rubble off her. She goes, "I'm more than I was, but I'm not as much as I will be." And I was like, oh shit, that's a bar, you know? So like, that's a good first line. I wrote that in my notes. Now that's the first line in one of my songs, like stuff like that. So the moment I get the first line, figure out the little melody I'm using, there'll be a vibe between me and producer. He'll hear where I'm going, I'll hear where he's going. I won't like it, I will like it. More space in the drums, please. Or like
just the genuine collaborative.
Like how we did
I was literally thinking that's exactly what we did. We started with that little sample. It's like, you like this? You're like, I like that one. And it was a list of shit that I'd already pre-picked out that, like, you know, I kind of like this stuff, but it just wasn't sparking me. And then after you started doing your thing, I was like, oh, wait, let me. Okay, but we're here now.
So I think that's the best process. Just either start with some chords or like a nice little sample that you have, or like make your own. And then like wait for the artist to like come up with something. If he doesn't, he probably doesn't like it, and then you move on to the next one. Other than that, sometimes I will just write something that rhymes about music and just make it fit when the music's there. My favorite ideal way to start a song is just to have a bassist in the room, a bass player. Him just like fuck about on some notes and chords, and for some reason whenever I hear bass, like I find it hard not to write something.
That's just like your spark like sound.
And then boom, just add some guitars, and there you got a Maxi Millz type beat.
Fine.
Basically.
So for all the producers looking to get a place with Maxi, hey,
Maxi Millz
you heard it here.
Trust.
Because that's funny. Like I feel like for me too on the music tip, my sparks are strings and chords, like piano chords, like those. Like they just twist you somehow. I
have to be like, piano chords for me are a weird one. Like they always make me really upset. Like I have to be in a sad mood to want to write.
You do Rhodes specifically too, like not just the chunk. Rhodes is like such a smooth neo soul. Like I think Music Soul Child, like just that whole era.
Rhodes, electric guitar, and bass is all you need. I swear to God, that's all you need. Sometimes you don't even need drums, bro. Just like a snap.
I feel like when I was listening more to like Billie Eilish stuff, how she's had a documentary, I'm like, yo, they're really not doing much on the beat besides some bass and like weird sounds here, but like it's just her voice that's carrying it so much. And
I watched a bit of that the other day. Her and her brother's creative process is so ideal. Just them in a room, sick.
Just hanging out. In their parents' house still, like she was still going to school and coming back.
It's crazy. Big up Billie Eilish, that shit's lit.
But I mean, I feel like we covered a good amount, man. At this point, I feel like it's just people, you know, it's a matter of time for people to see all the stuff you just talked about start rolling out.
Bro, I'm so gassed. I don't even know how much shit I have coming. So much.
That's a great place to be, though, versus like, fuck, I don't have it. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Like, and the thing with my album is, I didn't want my first album just to be like an amalgamation of songs that I like, that I put on a project that sound good next to each other. And I think that's why recently when I've sat down to write something, it's taken me like a bit longer, because I'm like, okay, cool. I want to call my album Ego Trip. So like it needs to be a journey starting from one, and then I want to call the songs on the album different emotions or different things. So like ego, karma, belief, reason, relationship, like those different things. So like now that I'm doing that, I understand why Lauryn Hill only has one album. Because like to make the type of album that she made with Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is really fucking hard. Like really hard. To make a conceptual album, I think, is something that's missing from nowadays musicians. I can't tell, and I can't think of anyone off the head.
Me either.
In the last 10 years that's made like a really, really good conceptual album. R&B. There's been loads of rap ones, but like R&B, I can't think of one.
And even how you were talking about the other night, it's like how in American music, like you're a bitch a lot and stuff like that. Like now it's just like the kind of hype stuff and like the R&B, trash. Let me fuck you, but it's not the smooth shit that like, again, we grew up on, because when you're saying all those artists, that's the same thing for me. And like I think of Usher's Confessions and like Superstar and all
even
different
before that, like D'Angelo, like like that shit, like that's crazy, bro. But like that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make good music. I don't care if no one listens, bro, as long as it's good. I have some good music out there,
that you can listen to.
Exactly.
So with all this stuff, where can people find you?
I got a website, maximillz.co. Or just my Instagram, Maxi Millz. Or my Twitter, Maxi Millz, but all the I's are double, so MAXIIMIILLZ. Usually there's one I.
Remember that.
or Z. Yeah, really just Instagram
Everywhere.
to be honest, bro. But
Okay.
like, I have all the other ones as
But
run
if
of the
you
mill things.
really try and tap in with you, Instagram.
Instagram, Maxi
Got it.
Millz. Bad things hit me.
You heard it here first. Artist of the month, Maxi Millz. Let's get it.
Let's go, baby.
Lies.